catch up. Okay, is it showing live? Excuse me. If y'all are, okay, here we go. Yay! There's such a delay, and it's so grainy. I understand that, but anywho, welcome everyone. Happy Monday. It is April 27th. April flew on by. I feel like April went by so fast. Like OMG. Oh, let me mute myself here on YouTube. Make sure everybody can hear me. Okay, yeah, y'all can hear me. Okay, great. Welcome to the Obelisk Lounge, everyone. My name is Justice, and as you can tell by the title, I'm going to be speaking about the truth of destiny swapping and what that is. And so, if you are watching the replay, thank you. And if you end up joining the live later, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it. So, I've been meaning to talk about this for a minute, and I know that I am late to the party. Well, actually, I take that back. I'm not late to the party because whoever is supposed to get this message is who it is for. So actually I'm not late. I'm right on time for whoever this may be for. But um But about a year or two ago, I was waking up out of my nice deep slumber, and I heard the second to command to the Creator, okay, the witness to everyone's fate and everyone's destiny in the cosmology that I practice and belong to. I heard that divinity saying, when it comes to destiny, no one can steal what is yours. They can emulate, they can copy, they can snatch or delay your blessings, but they cannot permanently steal what is yours. And you can always get back what is rightfully yours. That is the truth about destiny swapping. You can always get back what is rightfully yours. People may be able to snatch, they may be able to temporarily delay, they might be able to even block and different things of that nature. But what is yours is yours. And so in this video, I'm going to be uncovering and giving you all some. Now somebody want to call my phone. Now they want to call my phone. They didn't have all morning. Okay. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, so in this video, I'm actually going to be breaking down the truth of destiny swapping. It's not as if, it's not a real thing or it's something that cannot be done by very powerful and skilled magi. Magi are just, I use the word magi to cover an umbrella of people who are high priests and priestesses in certain pantheons, people who might, be on the various spectrums of shamanism, sangomas, just different spiritual practitioners who are very skilled. Okay, these are not just like your average everyday people. You might see them out at, when you're going and you're coming in your day to day and different things like that. But these are just not your average people. So like the average Joe or Jessica not gonna be able to just snatch, you know what I'm saying, your destiny and different things like that. They might send you the evil eye. They might send you like, some little nasty little energy or whatever. But something as big and as potent and unique as your destiny, that's like our DNA. You know how like DNA doesn't replicate or repeat? Well, there's certain replicating factors and different things like that when it comes to DNA. I'm not going to break down the science of it. But you know how like your DNA, your fingerprint and different things like that is yours. It belongs to you. That's how your destiny works. Right? So your destiny is something that, like I just said, is unique and personal to you. It's not a designer bag, right? That can be made in multiple styles or factory Nikes, them Jordans that everybody, used to be waiting out line for. Okay. That's not what your destiny is. Your destiny is your personal ordination. And there are guardians in the heavens as well as on earth that actually prevent things like that from happening. The first guardian being the prime universal supreme creator, the true God. If you watched the video that I did yesterday on the false God, which is the demiurge, I spoke about at the end on, how you can actually call out to the true creator to avert, the demiurge or any other negative adversarial energy from snatching your prayers, from hearing your prayers, so that they are delayed, or said or that so they miss that of the actual creator, or like of different entities and beings in your spiritual court and different things like that. So the prime universal supreme creator, who I got, that's not me, that's Dr. Delbert Blair. He actually, that is his moniker for the creator. You can just say the true God, you can just say the true supreme, whatever resonates to you. In my Spirit Communication 101 class, I actually talk about a very specific aspect of the creator that you can call on and always talk to and get their attention, or his, her, however you identify the creator to be. Get their attention immediately, like right there, right? I teach you how to get actually to the heart of God in my Spirit Communication 101 class. So it's not just something fly by night that you'll be able to get off the internet. Okay. This is a true divine transmission that it is that I receive. So there you have it. But anywho, I teach that in 101, which is actually coming up. My next cohort is coming up this Saturday, May 2nd. But anywho, it's sitting to the right hand of your of the true creator in regards to your spiritual court is your higher self. Okay. And then aside from your higher self, there are a number of heavenly hosts that you may have in your spiritual court that help to support and protect your destiny, such as angels, high-level spirit guides, and other spiritual allies who are placed in your path to actually protect your destiny and you from harm and thievery of others, but also to protect you from yourself as well. Okay. Um, so people who attempt to destiny swap or to delay or swipe at your blessings, swiping, at your blessings and different things like that, they can manipulate you psychically, right? Which impacts your consciousness and your subconscious, which some obvious examples are the propaganda that we have going on in the world, or that we've actually always had going on in the world, right? So like yellow journalism. And of course, the extreme side of that manipulation can be seen in zombieism and different things like that. I'm speaking of the spiritual aspect of zombieism, not like The Walking Dead and all those like little zombie stuff, like the actual like real life type people can turn you into zombies. You know what I'm saying? And you're not literally rotting away. You're just a shell of yourself that they can easily, maneuver and manipulate and different things like that. So those are the more extreme cases that require very skilled, like I said, magi and magicians to be able to actually do things like that to you. Okay. So, and I will actually, in my Spirit Communication 102 class, working with your higher self, I detail information of that nature, not necessarily the zombieism part, but how to protect yourself against certain negative adversarial forces, how to fortify, like your relationship with your higher self as well as your higher self, so that you can get to the getting, okay, in this life, and not have yourself impacted by, hey, Nasdaq. Oh, my fault. Almost my fault. To not have yourself impacted by your, let me say it in a kind way, your foes. To not have yourself impacted by your foes. Okay. And don't you be a foe. But you might be a foe to some people. I mean, I may be a foe to some people. I don't, I didn't, I digress. But anywho, I'll have details about my Spirit Communication 101 and 102 in the description box as well as in the comment section. 101 is this Saturday, and 102, working with your higher self, is going to follow up on Sunday. And if you're watching this video in the future and this weekend has passed, I'm offering these cohorts on a regular basis. So, just get in where you fit in. Boom shakalaka. Okay. But anywho, where was I? Okay, so like I was saying, so now the thing your adversaries can steal, right? Well, not the things they can steal, but the thing is they can steal swap, block, and delay your blessings like a new job, a promotion, a good spouse, friendships, community, your beauty, your health, your success, different things of that nature, right? Even your time, and stuff like that. So these are the means that they can actually that they can use to keep you from experiencing the life that is rightfully yours. However, once you are aware of the witchery and the trickery that is afoot, okay, you can always get back what is rightfully yours, because again, these blessings and things like that are unique to you. Although you might share commonalities with different people, when it comes to how you experience life, but what it is that you are meant to experience, the conditions of your life, those things are for you, the good and the bad, right? So I'm not just going to, in regards to destiny, I'm not just talking about the good things, we're talking about the bad things. Sometimes you just destined to go through an experience too, right? So where you maybe missed out on one opportunity, another opportunity of equal or greater value can present itself to you later if you are someone who has been a victim of things of this nature. So where you might have missed out on that person, right, that was going to help you to experience life in a new way. You can be blessed if you get that energy up off of you. You can be blessed with another person or a group of people of equal or greater value, that can come along and to help shift those conditions in your life. And so some of your blessings are also fated, right? Fate is something that cannot be changed. So yeah, fate is something that cannot be changed. Like, unless the true God, the supreme creator, ordains it to be so, then and the beings that the creator actually put in place to help to control the divine order of things, because the creator did put different councils, different spiritual entities and beings and things like that into place to keep the divine order of the cosmos. And so if the creator grants permission, then fate is something that can be changed. But destiny is something that cannot be changed. It can be manipulated, right? It can be manipulated to a degree. But when it comes to your destiny, in destiny swapping, that's why it's so important for you to be an initiator of your life, okay, an activator in your own life, okay, and an executioner, okay. You need to be able to carry out certain things in your life. So just because you get a reading and it says, oh, you're meant to have this, if you're not doing did to get what it is that whatever blessings is laid out for you, if you are not actively doing and pursuing those things, pursuing the activities that align with whatever those conditions that it is that you have the wherewithal to achieve in this lifetime, then you're just letting life just pass you by. You have to be an activator and an initiator of your destiny. When you get some type of Akashic Records reading, or when you get any type of spiritual reading from that may come from a certain pantheon of spirits and different things like that, you have to be the initiator in your life. You just cannot let it's not just gonna fall out the sky into your lap. Things that fall out the sky into your lap are fated. But destiny, like I said, you actually have to be an active participant to activate and to achieve those things, actually manifest and bring those things to fruition. Aligned action equals destiny being realized. Okay. So just like Michael Jackson, right? Beyonce, Madam CJ Walker, Ida B. Wells, Langston Hughes, Malcolm X, and so many other great people. Hell, maybe even your nana watching this video. You know what I'm saying? Your granddaddy, your uncle, and them, you, me, right? So, whatever it is that we are destined for, we have to take aligned action. That aligned action equals your destiny being realized. And the more aligned that it is that you actually are, the harder it is for people to delay, to block, to swap, and different things of that nature, right? When you are moving in alignment acts as a, come on, spirit, hit me out. Alignment acts as your built in protector. right? It acts is because when we think about protection, we want our protection to be multifaceted. We want it to be layered. We want to have protection from the earth, the wind, the fire, everything. You know what I'm saying? We want our protection to be like an onion. That may be for somebody. That may be for somebody. If you get down, you may need to do something with an onion. I don't know. But your protection should be layered like an onion, right? And one of the easiest ways, without lighting a candle, without doing, any other or working with any types of spirits, alignment or another form of protection is being at the right place at the right time, doing what it is that you're supposed to be doing at the right place at the right time. That's a built-in layer of protection. It makes it really difficult when you're doing what you're supposed to do. It makes it very difficult for a hating ass nigga. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Here I go. It makes it very difficult for a foe. It makes it very difficult for a foe to come in to to trick you out your spot, because you're right where you're supposed to be. Like, this is where you're supposed to be. So everything else moving around you, your spirit team, the creator, the elements, whatever, is moving around you, looking at this thief like, you ain't supposed to be here. This ain't got this right over here, right here, ain't got shit to do with you. So what you over here trying to get what it is that they got, because they already in their spot. Holla if you hear me. Okay? Holla if you hear me. Because you're already where you're supposed to be. So everything that is conspiring in your favor is looking at this trick over here. You pick up what I'm putting down? Right? Michael Jackson, in his movie Just Six, I went to go see it this past weekend. He said, or the line, I don't know if Michael actually, I have heard of Michael actually saying something similar before, especially in his competition with Prince. But in the movie, they said something along the lines of, his brothers are asking him, he's out, Michael, and his brothers, like, they all out chilling by the pool, and Michael is up looking at the sun, because the sun is light equals knowledge and information and all those different things, right? And so Michael is just, basking in the sun, and his brother's like, and he's like mumbling, like mumbling, whispering, and his brothers are like, Mike, what you doing? And Michael said, I'm channeling. I'm channeling God, because I need to make sure that he doesn't give any of the ideas that he gives to me to Prince. That's a real thing. So this is the truth about destiny swapping that it is that I'm talking about. Not saying that they were not in that type of competition or war and different things like that. But what you might think is destiny swapping might not, might be or like some type of hex or some type of curse that somebody has placed on your life may just actually be you not doing what it is that you're supposed to be doing. And the creator or your spirit team or whomever is handing those ideas off to the next person, who's going to be the initiator, the activator of destiny, of their own destiny. And they're going to actually carry out that initiation. They're going to carry out and act and transact that action. Right? So sometimes it's not always somebody is after us. It's, again, we're not doing what it is that we're supposed to be doing when we're supposed to be doing it, how we're supposed to do it. All of those things matter, especially for the greater good of all. One of my theories about why the earth, is experiencing so much calamity and different things like that now throughout history is because so many people are not doing what it is that they have been called to do in whatever capacity that may be, because it's not going to always look the same. It's not going to always look like somebody writing a book. It's not always going to look like somebody getting on YouTube or having a talk show. It may look like somebody was supposed to teach something, was supposed to be a doctor, a lawyer, somebody that's maybe supposed to inspire people who work in warehouses and different things like that. Maybe you're meant to be, that team member or that supervisor that helps to light that divine spark in people to get them going. So it doesn't always have to be this grand gesture like how we see these big stars on stage, and different things like that. It doesn't have to be that way. But I do think that if more people were in alignment with their best and highest good, that the world would look a lot differently. But we give thanks for the times that we're in, because a lot of people are waking up, a lot of people are aligning. And so we give thanks. May, all of us continue to do what it is that we came here to do, so we can turn this hellscape around, okay, for the better, because there is power in numbers. And that is something that the demiurge does not want to happen, right? Um, and the powers and the archons working with the demiurge. But I digress. Let me stay on topic. Where was I? Where was I, y'all? Let me see. Okay. So thankfully, as long as you have breath, all right, you have your right mind, and you have your connection to the divine, um, anything in your destiny that has been, you know, manipulated for the worse, right? Those things can be turned around. For the most part, it can be turned around. Um, However, if you wait too long, just like I just went on a whole diatribe about, if you wait too long, you might get left out in the cold, and you might only, and where get where you lost. How do I want to say it? Where you get back what you lost and some, the opposite can happen. Or where, okay, you only get a fraction, you know what I'm saying, of the treasury that it is that you could have had in this life. And when I say treasury, I'm not talking about just only riches or fame and notoriety and titles or whatever. I'm speaking about your peace of mind, right? Your confidence, your comfort, your self assurance, your joy, your gratitude, your protection, all of these different things are part of our treasury, are in our treasure boxes, right? But if we are not initiating our destiny and carrying out those plans, then we may only get a fraction of that, if all. So many people die not having done what it is that they're supposed to be doing, because they think they're supposed to be doing what everybody else doing. No, you're not supposed to be doing what everybody else is doing. Figure out what it is that you're supposed to do, and you do that. Period. That's all she wrote. Okay. But um there are, let me see, where was I? Um there are more experiences in our life that are destined versus fated. And you don't always know which package your blessings are going to come into. We don't always know what, how they will manifest. Even me as a spiritualist, I don't always know, how those things are going to manifest. I just know when something is going to happen, or if it is going to happen. Which is why it's so important to not be so laissez-faire about your life all of the time. It's imperative that you be an active participant in your life and not a bystander that just lets things happen to them. Okay. And by the way, if you need help understanding your unique gifts, talents, and what you are destined for, how your soul came into being, how your soul came to express itself in this lifetime, I actually offer master plan Akashic record readings. Okay, so you can book that in the description box with me, and we'll go through all of that. And then after I finish revealing XYZ to you, you'll be able to ask you some questions at the end of that reading. But moving forward, it is always so important to cleanse and protect yourself. Because when we're talking about, blessings being blocked, delayed, all those things, it's important to be able to cleanse, to open up your past, open up your roads, and then to protect yourself in that order. Cleanse, open up the roads, and protect yourself in that order, okay, on a regular basis, to keep adversaries away, or the plans that adversaries have for you away, okay, so that their malicious plans don't stop what the creator, what your higher self, and the other divinities who were called to support you in this lifetime have for you. A couple of years ago, Because let me tell you, because even sometimes it's not even always a person, it may not always be necessarily evil eye or envy or jealousy, or maybe somebody actually like trying to throw witchcraft and different things like that at you. It's not always that. Because a few years ago, I was once again coming up out of my sleep, and my folks woke me up and was showing me an image. I wish I actually had the image here for you guys, but I'm going to describe them. Let me pull up my notes section real quick, because I actually wrote down this thing, these entities. Let me search my notes. Hold on, y'all. Stay with me. Stay with me. Stay with me. Okay, here we go. So a few years ago, I was coming up out of my sleep again, and my spirit team, they were talking to me about these microscopic entities called destiny interceptors. And really they're even smaller than microscopic, because you literally can't even see them with the microscope, right? Like they are these interdimensional type little entities that are always around us, always around us, always in the air. And this is spoken about in a lot of different religious, or belief systems, right? But I didn't put two and two together until I was coming up out my sleep, and they were showing me this particular entity and different things of that nature, or these particular like little entities. And I say entity because they operate as one, even though there is like billions. There's like billions, trillions of them, because they're just in the air. And so they call these little beings destiny interceptors. Okay, intercept. When you intercept something, what you doing? Put it in the comments. With somebody intercepting something, what that mean? What that mean? Put that in the comment section. Put it in the chat. If you so happen to catch this video before I, click off. What it mean intercept? What it mean? Let's Google. Let's Google. What does it mean? Intercept. Meaning. What that mean? An interceptor is a person, device, is a person, a device, or an aircraft. Okay, because these little things flying through the air, they're going through the air, so they're their own mini aircraft designed. That's their purpose. They're destiny interceptors designed to stop, to seize, or to interrupt something in motion. Now, when you initiate something, aren't you getting ready to be in motion? When you take an action, when you carry it out, you know what I'm saying? Your particular ordination, different things like that. When you're carrying those things out, you're taking action. And so while you're taking action, you have these things that my spirit team called destiny. And let me say specifically, it was actually one of my ancestors that told me about this entity. So let me give them that credit, not just my spirit team. It was one of my folks that told me about destiny interceptors. And that is exactly what they called them. They are tiny little creatures that resemble sperm cells, because this is how I saw it. This is how they revealed it to me when I was coming out of my sleep. They're really, really, really small. Like you cannot see them. You can't even see them underneath the microscope, because they're just a part of the air. They're little tiny creatures that resemble sperm cells. And let me go to my notes and read the rest of their description. They are tiny microscopic adversarial energies that are literally everywhere. They inflict harm on humans by creating negative thoughts and behavior patterns and paralysis when completing goals and tasks that helps us to activate and transact, to initiate and carry out our destiny. They create negative scenarios for us in our imaginations, in our daydreams, and they are interdimensional, so they can travel with us when we quantum leap, because they are everywhere. To keep them to a minimum, we need to practice consistent good spiritual routines, good spiritual hygiene. And this was like maybe 2023 when I first wrote this. It's 2026 now. Where was I? Yeah, to keep them at a minimum, we need to practice consistently good spiritual routines. If we are imagining a healthy life that we want, then suddenly a crazy thought comes out of nowhere. This is how you know it's them. If you are, frolicking through the fields in your mind or even in life, and then all of a sudden you have this crazy thought that comes out of nowhere, that's an interrupter, that's a destiny interceptor right there. That's how you can identify that energy. You can cast that energy out, right? Because although they are everywhere, they are easy to overcome, or they can be easy to overcome. But let me continue reading my description. Lack of spiritual cleaning around your head, right? And I'm going to talk about this in my spirit communication class 102 this upcoming Sunday. Information to sign up for that is in my description box, and it's going to be in the comment section. Lack of spiritual cleaning around your head can lead to an infestation of these beings. Like a sleek cell racing for the egg, their influx causes mental, emotional, and spiritual intrusions. So it is important to stay on top of your spiritual hygiene. Okay. It is important to fortify your mind with the right things, with the right type of content, okay, on your phone and different things of that nature. It's important to do that because these energies are all around us all the time. That's why it's important, to keep your home and things like that spiritually clean, your mind and different things like that spiritually clean, so that you can easily overcome these things. Because the truth about destiny swapping is it's not always a person or it's not always a person. You know what I'm saying? That you beefing with, or even if you're not beefing with them, if the beef is one sided and they're just jealous because of what you got going on, it's not even always them. It's not always that. Sometimes it can be this entity called the Destiny Interceptor, and more, because there's more entities that my folks have revealed to me, who just work against the cause. You know what I'm saying? Who work against, fighting the power and different things of that nature. Who come to steal, kill, destroy, delay, block, blah, 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 all those things, right? And so, just to conclude, it's imperative that you follow your intuition and your discernment. Be able to discern what is your voice, what is the voice of God, which is what I talk about in Spirit Communication 101. How does your higher self sound? I talk about that at 102. How do your elevated ancestors, you know what I'm saying, communicate with you? I talk about that at 103, if they even communicate with you at all, because everybody not meant to, talk and commune with, with their ancestors and stuff like that. That's not everybody's path. You know what I'm saying? In 104, I teach about, your spirit guides, how to discern the voices, and the signs and the energy signatures of the beings in your spiritual court, right? Because it's important to be able to identify what is a friend, what is a spiritual ally, or even a material ally, and what is a foe. Okay. So, follow through on your intuition and your discernment is how we internally detect bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So, be mindful of who you fool with in the company you keep. That's the easiest way, right? Be mindful of oversharing. You can give someone the bigger picture of what it is that you have going on, but but not the details, because you don't know what they may have going on with them. Even though the energy may not be coming from them directly, it can be coming from their unclean spiritual environment, right? Or their what's the word I'm looking for? Not necessarily unclean, because because some people unclean, but compromise. Their compromised spiritual environment. It can be coming from that too, right? Um, but anywho, you have the solutions. Do not fret. Do not be afraid. If you feel like you got some stuff going on and you need somebody to help you determine what is going on, book me below. I can try to see what's going on with you, and give you some solutions. Because what's the point of getting a reading? What's the point? What's the point? I'm just getting information if nobody's going to tell you what to do with it, or how to do, like how to fix your problems. You know what I'm saying? And different things like that. But anywho, thank you all for watching. That concludes this video. I will see you all on my calendar, or in the next video, or in class this weekend, Spirit Communication 101 and Spirit Communication 102. 101 is discerning the voice of God, the true God. And 102 is understanding and working with your higher self. I will see you guys later. Have a good one. Be